You're listening to the Happiest Girl in the Room podcast. Hey. Welcome back to the Happiest Girl in the Room podcast, also known as the Happiest Diaries. And this is season 2. Season 1 was last year. Yeah. And this is season 2. If you are just joining my podcast for the first time, please know that I have about 15 episodes in season 1, of which you can learn so much from. So you can just binge listen anytime that you're free on your drive to work or from work, whatever. Please make sure that you listen, you like, you subscribe, and you share. And I am excited to welcome you to season 2, episode 1 of this podcast, the Happiest Girl in the Room podcast, also known as the Happiest Diaries. I am so excited for this season. I was asking God, and if you listen to the last episode, I was also asking for feedback, which you would not share. But I was asking God what the direction of the next season would be. And He ministered to me and said that He wants me to use this platform like a masterclass. So to teach His word in a way that edifies people's spirit to ensure that they live a better and more fulfilling life. And I think that somehow I've been doing that. If you listen through episode 1 till now, I think I've always done that. But I think what is asking me to do now is to be more intentional about it. And I'm so willing to do that. And I'm also going to look for ways, platforms, and more avenues. Because in season 1, I only published on Spotify. So in this season 2, He's telling me to go all out. There are other platforms. So there's Apple Podcasts, there's YouTube, to ensure that this word reaches the right people and edifies somebody's spirit. So welcome to the new year. Welcome to 2025. It's a time of new beginnings and it's a promise of a fresh start. And there's everywhere you go, we're still greeting Happy New Year. It's just the 8th of the month. And there's so many people that I've not seen. So if I go back to the office, it's going to be a barrage of Happy New Years. So Happy New Year will continue, at least till the end of the month, if we're being honest. And the thing is, the dawn of a new year certainly comes with this sense of hope, this sense of renewal, endless possibilities to do anything and everything, including happiness. But when we say Happy New Year, how do we ensure that this year is indeed a happy one for us? I'm not saying January should be a happy month and then February, I'm saying, how do we ensure that every day, every week, every month throughout this year is indeed a happy one? I recall during the holidays, I visited my friend Sammy along with his sister, and we're having a conversation about so many things. And one of the things that we talked about was attaining the state of happiness. And I started to reflect on the past year and also to reflect on that conversation. And I'm reminded that happiness is a journey. It is not a destination. And it's something that we need to constantly tell ourselves. There's no a state of being happy. We get the spirit of joy from God. But the state of happiness is a journey. And that's why you should know that happiness is a combination of intentional choices. I would actually say that happiness is an action word, yeah? Because it's intentional. It's all about the choices that we make. It's intentional choices, it's self-care, and it's about that willingness to grow. I say this as someone who has experienced grief, who has experienced trauma and pain. And best believe me when I say intention is the foundation of happiness. With that in mind, I'm going to share a few tips that would help us cultivate a happy new year throughout the year, not just one that just comes and goes. First thing I would say is you need to let go of the past. Letting go of the past is your journey towards liberation. See, most of the things that make us sad is mostly what has happened in the past. I know. I know, because sometimes I sit in silence, surrounded by the memories of the years that has gone by, surrounded by the memories of my pain, of my trauma. And oh boy, it can really weigh you down, honestly. And that's what negative memories of the past can do. The ghost of yesterday, as they call it will hold you captive and to prevent you from embracing the beauty of today. So I understand that letting go of the past is not easy. It's a process that requires patience, it requires self awareness, and it also needs the willingness to forgive. And I'm talking about forgiving yourself first before you even begin to talk about other things and other people. But let me tell you, it is a journey that is necessary for growth, for healing, and for liberation. If you've read my book, you'll see that I mentioned how I did that. I started with first acknowledging the emotions. I went through therapy. I always let everyone knows. I say it. I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I believe in the scriptures. But I also believe in the power of therapy. So I went through therapy and it guided me and helped me through that process of letting go of the past. Because I realized that a lot of the pain was because I was holding on to my trauma, holding on to so many things. And as I began to let go, I began to feel better. So I started by acknowledging the emotions that I had bottled up inside of me. I started to acknowledge and recognize the pain, the anger, the sadness. I gave myself the permission to feel all of it, to process it, because that's the only way I could release it. And, I walked through my emotions and I began to see the past in a new light, because that's the only way to, move forward, to live in the presence. I realized that those experiences that were so devastating are also opportunities for growth. Every experience we have is an opportunity for growth, including one as devastating as grief and loss of a loved one. So I decided to see it that way. I think I say this a lot. What you focus on becomes your focus. And I think I also wrote a blog post at some point about your worldview is how you see things. So if you walk into a room with shades on, dark glasses, we see it all over Lagos. We all wear, should I say we all wear sunglasses into rooms, but a lot of people do it because you can't spend $1,000 on sunglasses and you say, I should not wait inside a room. What? So we do that. So if you walk into a room, a well-lit room with sunglasses on, guess what? Your view is going to be shaded. It's going to be dark. And that's how your worldview is. It's how you see things. It's your perception, your interpretation of things. That's how it affects you. And that's what I did with the experience that I have. And that's what I'm telling you to do right now. It's looking at the experiences that you've had in the past, no matter how devastating they may be, and seeing them as opportunities for growth. Because life happens to all of us. We even say something in Nigeria. In Nigeria, not happen to you. Because that's another topic for another day. But I'm just saying that, let your experience teach you valuable lessons. Let it help you develop resilience. And I think that's what my experience did for me. It helped me develop resilience and it shaped me into the person that I am today. And with this newfound perspective, I'm able to take on anything. Like, that's how I see life. If anything happens to me today, the first question I ask myself is, what lesson am I supposed to pick from this? Because I see everything that I go through, every experience, every pain, every interaction, I see it as an opportunity for growth. And so I ask myself that question constantly. What lesson am I supposed to pick from this? And that's what I'm telling you today. To let go of the past. How do you do that? It's just seeing it from that perspective. What lesson am I supposed to pick from what had happened to me in 2024? That way, you can easily forgive yourself. You're able to forgive yourself, forgive others. You're able to let go of whatever pain that comes with the memory. You're able to let go of the shame, the guilt, resentment, all of those things were the things that I felt in my own time because of the peculiarities of my situation. So everything that you feel, you can feel it, process it, and release it. And then you're able to focus on the present, on the beauty of today. Another thing I did was to start practicing mindfulness. Mindfulness is staying present in the moment. It's letting go of worries about the past, about the future. I think there's a way I wrote about this in my book. If you check chapter 10, which is titled The Happiest Girl in the Room, It was one of the hacks that I used, always living in the moment. And it was inspired by the scriptures. The Bible says in Matthew 6:34 that we should not worry about tomorrow because tomorrow has its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today. So armed with that, I cultivated the attitude of gratitude. I started to focus on the good things I had going for me. I set the goals and I'm excited about the possibilities that lay ahead. And that's what I'm telling you to do. Honestly, I know that letting go of the past isn't always easy, which is why I spent such an amount of time talking about it. But the truth is, it's a journey worth taking. It's a journey that'll set you free. It'll help you grow and it'll allow you to actually live in the moment, stay in the present, and embrace the beauty that today has. So that's the first thing. The second thing you need to do to have a happy new year all around the year, I think for me, it's about setting intentions, not resolutions. I spoke about it in the last episode of season 1 when I spoke about renew, reflect, reset. You can also listen to that. I spoke more about intentions because the thing about resolutions is they quickly wear out. For me, I use start, stop, continue. It's easy that way. So I can build on the progress I've made in the past because I'm not just going to throw everything away. So I build on the progress I've made in the past year. The things that didn't work for me, I look at them and evaluate. And I say, okay, this is not working for me because i.e. it's not aligned to my values, or I pray about it and I realize that it's not the direction God wants me to go, etc. So I do that and then I continue the ones that, oh, this is great. This is working for me. Let me do more of this. Like this podcast, for example, it's on my continue list for my goals for the year. So that's what I'm doing in season 2. And then I also look at things that I want to start. I also spoke about the podcast thing in the beginning to say I want to explore other channels. So not just Spotify. How about I put this on YouTube? How about I put this on Apple Podcasts? How do I do that? So that's just one of my goals regarding this podcast. I'm just trying to explain or give an example of how I use the start, stop, continue model. And it just makes my life easy. So focusing on intentions rather than resolutions. And the thing about intention is it's like a gentle whisper. It keeps guiding. It's like a guiding light. It just keeps directing you. Because you know that, oh, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And you're just, going towards it. I ask myself, what does my heart desire? What is my purpose? How can I create impact this year? And once I can answer those questions, I'm writing them down. And as I reflect on my desires, I begin to notice a pattern. I'm talking about pattern. In church last Sunday, Pastor Bolaji spoke about identify the patterns that work in our lives. Because sometimes a lot of people, we feel like God doesn't speak to us. We can't hear from God. There was this light bulb moment that he gave me. I don't know about other people, but he gave me last Sunday when he spoke about patterns that people hear in different ways. Some people hear that still small voice in their head. Some people, it's like a dream, like Joseph. He hears through dreams or he sees through dreams. Some people, it's via visions. But for some people, it could be through someone else. There's someone that God uses to speak to you all of the time. This person may not even come and say, God said I should tell you that. It's just that the person says something that's like a word and then you hold on to it and you see the realization of that word in your life. And it then spoke about patterns being a way that God also speaks to people. Like, I know it's because I mentioned the word pattern. I'm deviating a bit, but it was such an important and such a good word, and I feel led to share. So sometimes you feel like, oh, I'm not hearing from God. And a very easy way to see how God works in your life is to look at the patterns in your life. Every time I've been successful, what is the pattern there? Just check it, and then you can recreate the conditions that make those patterns happen. And he gave a pretty simple example of the seasons. Rainy season, dry season, harmattan, winter, summer, all of those seasons. Nobody came down from heaven to say, yeah, this is the season, take it. No. It started from observation. Oh, at this time of the month or at this time of the year, it snows, so it's winter. At this time of the year, it's sunny. At this time of the year, it's autumn. You get, so it's observation on based on the patterns, and then they're able to predict. And so, if we also apply that same principle in our lives, we're able to see the patterns of God in our lives, and then we're able to see, oh, when I do this, I am successful. And so there's a pattern. You look at that pattern, and then you can easily recreate it in your own life to help you achieve your intentions, which become your goals. Yeah? Okay. So let me just pack that and move on. I'm just going to say a few examples of how I turned my desires into intentions and into goals. Like, I want to feel more grounded. I want to feel more connected to my body, to my mind this year. I want to activate compassion, kindness. I want to, express myself more authentically. Those are like my desires, and they become my intentions. And then I write them down in an action way. SMART. Remember, I spoke about SMART. I write them down. Those are the things that I put as start. You get. And so I write them down, and I am now taking action to bring them to life. I use my notepad on my notepad is so full. Like, every time I get an idea, I just open my notepad. So my goal is to put them on my notepad. And I have a way that I have compartmentalized it. Like, anybody gets this, my notepad will see notes all over the place. But to me, I arranged it very well. Anyways, for my desires, the one I said, I want to feel connected to my mind and my body. What am I doing now? I'm stretching. I don't used to really stretch before when I do workout, but now I'm consciously and intentionally stretching. And that moment, I just zone out. I mean, like, my own space. It's also a moment I try to use to practice mindfulness, where I just disconnect from everything around me, and I'm just focused on myself, my breathing in and out. And it's helping me feel more grounded, more connected to my body, more connected to my soul, my mind. I'm also saying, okay, how can I express myself more authentically through my writings, through my podcast? And so I'm going to be writing more. Well, I write a lot. I just don't publish them or put them out there. So I'm going to be putting out there more of myself this year to express myself more authentically. And I'm not saying I'm a perfect person. No one is perfect. And I'm not saying anybody can achieve perfection. Just that simple way of looking at it. Start, stop, continue. And then going with the intention that becomes the goal, and then taking actions to achieve those goals in those little tasks that it's not so overwhelming for you. It's just like a great gift that God has given me last year and taken into this year in terms of being intentional about living. You understand? Yeah. So please ditch the pressure of your grand resolutions and just take it a day at a time, a step at a time. Start, stop, continue into intentions, into goals, into tasks. And then, just go and listen to episode 15 of last season. Everything is there. I don't want to repeat myself. Importantly, just focus on your progress and not perfection. Number 3, for making this year a happy new year all through the year, is for you to prioritize yourself. And I'm not saying be selfish. No. I'm just saying self-care. Self-care is being intentional about taking care of yourselves physically, mentally, and emotionally. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So it's only when you have that you can give. So if you take care of yourself, you're better at navigating the challenges that will come your way. You have better relationships because you're happy and your whole self, so you can actually give yourself to people, and then you increase your productivity at whatever it is that you do, work, business, etc. A lot of times we often neglect self-care. A lot of times we put everybody's needs before our own, and sometimes people would think that self-care is selfish. Self-care can be misconstrued as selfish. The minute it started, that's the first thing I said. To say, I'm not saying be selfish. I'm just saying take care of yourself. No, self-care is not being selfish, because taking care of yourself is crucial for you to be able to show up for other people. Think of it like the safety instructions on an airplane. You know what they always tell you? Put your own oxygen mask first before helping others, because you've not helped someone else. You're putting someone else's oxygen mask. You will just die. I'm making light of it, but I hope you get my message. Start prioritizing self care. Begin by identifying your needs. What nourishes your mind, your body, your soul? What activities make you feel alive and relaxed? You need to find what works for you. So, for some people like me, it's exercise and meditation. For some people, like my friend AJ, is spending time in nature, watching sunrise and sunsets. She's so bougie, I know. Others is reading. Yeah, it's journaling. Right. My boss Shade taught me about reading for pleasure. Before, come to my room, all the books I have are all self-help books, self-improvement books. But she's introduced me to reading for leisure. She gives me novels. I just read and relax. We just read to lose myself, just the way we watch movies to lose ourselves in that world. Reading can also be for leisure, and as is also something I picked up last year. Thank you, Shadi. And I'm going to be intentional about it into the new year. It's not every time how to reach that poor dad, how to make money, how to grow this. Sometimes just read for pleasure. Journaling, I journal a lot as well. It's also one of the ways that I take care of myself. And it may just be as simple as having a relaxing bath, sipping wine, quiet time. For me, I also cherish quiet times. I have young kids, so my house is always noisy. So that moment that I just have to be by myself, I cherish it every time that's quiet. Like now, I cherish it. Like they're at home. I literally had to beg them, please don't disturb me for the next 20 minutes thereabouts. Okay. So next, once you identify what are your needs, what works for you, the next thing is you need to schedule that self-care time. Treat self-care as a non-negotiable part of your daily or your weekly routine. Just like you prioritize work, just like you prioritize other commitments. Even if it's small moments like taking 5 minutes to do a meditation exercise. If you have an Apple Watch, that thing buzzes you all the time. Mindfulness, just breathing for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, it's self-care. You might just be going for a walk, a short walk in the evening in your estate or around your area. It's self-care. It can make a significant difference. You won't believe it. So, this 2025, promise me that you will take care of yourself. How do you do that? Please, number one, set boundaries. Learn to say no to commitments that drain your energy and say yes to commitments that nourish your mind, your body, your soul. Not everybody deserves your yes, honestly. Know that and know peace. Because boundaries, yeah? Number two, practice mindfulness. I think I've mentioned mindfulness in this podcast like 10 times already. Focus on being in the present. Just stay in the moment and just deep breaths. Deep breaths. It will help reduce stress and help you feel calm. Connect with people. Self-care is also connecting with others. It's nurturing the relationships that you have with your friends, with your loved ones, with your community. Because social connections are very vital for our emotional and mental well-being. Yes, there's that time to isolate, but there's also that time for connection. So please connect with your people. Nurture those relationships. Take care of your physical health. Very important. We all try. There's so many resources. There's a lot of resources online that you can read on how to take care of your physical health. Walks, the things that you eat, things like that. I'm no expert at this, but I know that it's good. So I try my best as well. But I think I should end by saying that self-care is not one size fits all approach. Just experiment with different activities to find what works best for you. So let your happy new year begin and continue with commitment to self-care. Nourish your body, nourish your soul, nourish your mind. Another thing that would help us have a happy new year all year round is gratitude. Cultivate the attitude of gratitude. In all things, give thanks. That's what the Bible says. So every day, it's so easy to get drowned in the things that are not working. But every day, try and take a minute to reflect on the things that are working for you. Have a gratitude journal where you just write it down. If you have a friend, a very close friend, a best friend that doesn't mind you talking, chatting your life out, you can also share with them, and both of you can even make it an exercise. She shares, you share, he shares, you share, and then you're able to just stay in that place of gratitude, because it's important for happiness and well-being. It's such a powerful emotion. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we also shift our perspectives and our lives change in ways that I cannot even begin to express. Yeah, and so the last one that I wanted to talk about is surrounding yourself with positivity. I think I speak about this a lot. I even spoke about it in my last episode. It's important on the journey to happiness. The people that we surround ourselves with, the media that we consume, social media, everything is on there. Not everything should have access to your mind. So protect your space, protect your physical space and your mental space. Look for environment that is positive, that fosters happiness, growth, success. Because let me tell you why it's important. Positivity is so contagious. When we are around people that are positive and supportive and encouraging, we are more likely to feel the same way. Positive relationships will boost our mood, will increase our energy levels, would even improve our physical health. And on the other hand, it's the same thing. If you're around people who are always negative, it will drain your energy. It will reduce your motivation. It can even lead to anxiety, depression. Check it. Go and check it. Spend some time with me, because I know I'm a very positive person. And then go and spend some time with somebody who you know has negative energy. You would see the difference. So please surround yourself with positive people if you want to have a really happy new year all year round. Protect your mental space. Protect the media that you consume. Seek positive relationships. Seek out inspiring books, uplifting content like this one. And all of that would help you. Let me stop here. There's still a few tips I have. I'll probably continue in the next episode, because this is getting I'll continue next episode. So, Happy New Year. This year we're staying happy, we're chasing our goals, we're drinking our water, minding our business, and of course we're putting God first. The Bible says in Proverbs 3:5-6, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. So in everything that you do, in your setting your goals, your intentions, please acknowledge God in it. Acknowledge God and he will direct you. And then, as I said in the last episode, there are some things that you have to do for yourself. God cannot do for you. Do those things. Use these tips I'm sharing and join me. I'm thinking of starting a community where we meet maybe monthly or quarterly. It can be virtual. It doesn't have to be physical. And we just share experiences. Yeah? What do you guys think? It's also part of what God has been laying in my heart for this 2025. And I've been trying to ignore it, like I'm not hearing. Like I didn't even know that I was going to say it right now, but I've said it. But I've been trying to ignore it because I know that it's an enormous amount of work that it will take, and it will take a lot of time to execute. But it's one of the things that God has actually been put in my heart for this year. But let me know what you think, yeah? So let me end by reading about my book. That's how I actually started this podcast. I usually read about my book and then I got carried away. But I'm going back there. Yeah, so let me just read about my book. This came from the last chapter, the chapter titled Happiest Girl in the Room, chapter 10. and it's one of the hacks for happiness on my journey to happiness. Living in the moment. This is a simple life hack that people take for granted. On my journey to joy, I realized that the source of my misery were either things from the past or things that I couldn't control. So living in the moment means letting go of the past, living for today, and not waiting for the future. It means living your life consciously, taking each day with sufficient intentionality to make it a great one. The Bible says in Matthew 6:34, I think I said this earlier too, you should not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today. That's the New Living Translation. This was honestly a game changer for me. Don't get me wrong. I know living in the now can be so difficult because where some of our past experiences and responsible people plan for their future. But the mistake a lot of people make is that they only live in the past or they only live in the future. So you have to strike a balance between picking the lessons of the past, as I've described in previous chapters, and living in the now in a way that protects your future. Endeavor to stay in the now so that you can appreciate what's going on around you. Remember our lovely quotes, what you focus on becomes your focus. I am no real life expert, so I can't categorically say that I know the right balance, but you know you've hit it. Once you worry less, you experience less stress on a regular basis, and you find yourself living the larger part of your life in the present. Even after Oluwaseye's death, I've experienced other tough times that are totally unrelated to losing my husband. I've lost friendships, I've been missed out on promotions, I've experienced pain, and I've experienced the pain of disappointment. I also sometimes wonder what my life will be like in another 10 years. All of these can be areas of concern. But imagine dwelling on these concerns every day. It will certainly rob one of the joy of today. Someone once told me that worry is like a rocking chair. It gives the illusion that you're moving when you're actually going nowhere. Therefore, live for today. Learn from the past. Take decisions and actions that would be great for you tomorrow as you live in the present. And when in doubt, look to the scriptures. Remember, Matthew 6:34, we already have enough troubles for today. Why add yesterday's and tomorrow? Thank you for listening to the Happiest Girl in the Room podcast. Till next time, bye-bye. You're listening to the Happiest Girl in the Room podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Happiest Girl in the Room podcast. See you next